Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss and compare having all three American Express charge cards. So recently I just applied for and got approved for the American Express Green Card. This card has an elevated offer right now, giving you 60,000 membership reward points after you end up spending $3,000 in the first 6 months of having this card. When I saw this elevated offer, I knew this was one that I wanted to take advantage of, so I applied for it, got approved for it, have the card expedited to me, and I just got the card in today. Now, when receiving this card, this meant that I actually had all three of American Express's main charge cards, which are going to be the American Express Green Card, the American Express Gold Card, and the American Express Platinum Card. There are other charge cards out there with American Express, whether it be different versions of the Platinum Card. However, the three main ones are going to be the Green, the Gold, and the Platinum. So now that I have all three of these cards, I want to compare these cards, talk about which cards may end up being best in certain situations, and also ask the question, does it make sense to have all three of American Express's main charge cards in my wallet? Now first, let's do a quick comparison of the look, feel, and build of these three cards. So the Green Card is the newest one that I got in, and when opening up the envelope and pulling it out, I actually forgot that this is a plastic credit card. So while I do like the look of this card and I am a big fan of green, when you actually end up grabbing this card, it doesn't scream luxury. Yes, it is an American Express card, but a lot of people associate American Express with luxury, and you're not gonna end up getting that feeling with this card. When you end up dropping this card on the table, it's not gonna have that metal clink sound. It's just gonna be like any other basic credit card that you've ever had. Now, when we compare it to the Gold Card, I think that the American Express Gold Card is a very clean and classic look. This card definitely has the feeling of luxury connected to it. This card does have the option of either giving you gold or a rose gold. Me, I'm more of a fan of the gold color card. This card is a metal card, and when you do drop it, you are going to have a nice metal sound with the card. I think the build quality of this card is very nice. I've actually had numerous other metal credit cards that actually kind of peel and aren't very well put together, but I do think that the American Express metal cards are really well built, and you can definitely tell a different level of their metal credit cards as compared to some of the other ones from other credit card issuers. And lastly is going to be the American Express Platinum Card. When you end up looking at and holding this card in your hand, you definitely end up getting the feeling of luxury with this card. The American Express Platinum Card is just such a clean looking metal credit card. You end up getting that loud sound when you actually do end up dropping this card. And I do think that as a whole, this is the best looking card of these three charge cards. So if I had to go off of look, feel, and quality of the cards, I'm going to say that the American Express Platinum Card gets number one, Gold Card is number two, and then Green Card is going to be in third place. Next, we're going to compare the annual fees with these cards. Now, each one of these are luxury travel credit cards, and with luxury travel credit cards, you end up having annual fees connected with them. The American Express Green Card has a $150 annual fee. The American Express Gold Card has a $250 annual fee, and the American Express Platinum Card has a $695 annual fee. Many people have a really hard time justifying a $695 annual fee, even though this card has a lot of benefits and perks connected with it. However, there are going to be people who I think can justify a $150 annual fee. Next, we're going to compare earning potential with these cards. So first, let's look at the American Express Green Card. This card is going to give you 3x back on dining, 3x back on transit, 3x back on travel, and then 1x back on all the purchases. The American Express Gold Card is going to give you 4x back on dining, 4x back on grocery stores, 3x back on airfare booked directly with the airlines, and then 1x back on all the purchases. And then the American Express Platinum Card is going to give you 5x back on airfare booked directly with the airlines, 5x back on hotels booked through Amex's travel portal, and then 1x back on all the purchases. Now, I think that this one is pretty easy to place which card is going to give people the best earnings for the vast majority of people. The American Express Gold Card, when it comes to 4x back on dining, 4x back on groceries, and then 3x back on flights, I think that for a high percentage of people, they're going to be able to rack up a lot of membership reward points with using this card. We all need to eat, so getting yourself 4x back on all of your dining purchases is going to be one that everyone can take advantage of. In second place, I'm going to put the American Express Green Card, because you are still going to be able to get yourself 3x back on dining, not on grocery stores, just specifically dining, and then you're going to get yourself 3x back on your travel purchases. So even though the American Express Platinum Card gives you a higher earnings when it comes to flights, giving you 5x back, the Green Card is going to be able to hit more categories, which what I feel is going to be over time going to allow people to rack up more points with the Green Card as compared to the Platinum Card. The Platinum Card as a whole is just not a very good earner card. The card is definitely a great card when it comes to different perks and benefits you can get with it, and also getting yourself that 5x back on flights can end up being incredibly valuable. But even if you spend $10,000 on flights throughout the year, which end up giving you 50,000 membership reward points with the American Express Platinum Card, if you actually end up having the American Express Green Card, you'd end up getting yourself 30,000 points with the American Express Green Card, plus 3x back on all of your dining and your other travel purchases. Now, if you're interested in the American Express Platinum, Green, or Gold Card, I will have referral links in the description box. And if you decide to use them, that will really help out the channel. It'd be incredibly thankful for your support. Next, we're gonna look at the different perks, credits, and benefits that are connected with each one of these cards. So although each of these cards have a high annual fee, if you end up taking advantage of these different credits and perks that connect with these cards, it should help offset the annual fee. So first, we're gonna look at the American Express Green Card that has a $189 clear credit, and that also ends up having a $100 Lounge Buddy credit. If you can take advantage of both of the American Express Green Card's credits to the fullest, you're gonna get yourself $289 in value. Next, we're gonna look at the American Express Gold Card, and with this card, you get yourself a $120 dining credit, and then also a $120 Uber credit. The $120 diner credit gives you $10 each month. It is use it or lose it. You get to use these towards specific restaurants and also apps that are connected with the American Express Gold Card. Usually I tell people just use Grubhub because Grubhub is connected with so many different restaurants that ends up being really easy to use. And when it comes to the Uber credit, you get $10 a month to either Uber Rides or Uber Eats. This is also use it or lose it, but if you can take advantage of both of these credits, you're gonna get yourself $240 in value. Now let's look at the American Express Platinum Card. This card has many different perks and credits that are connected with it. I don't want to go into full depth with all of them in this video. I do have an entire video that's breaking down the different perks and credits you end up getting with the American Express Platinum Card, but I'll go over the highlighted ones that people end up taking advantage of the most. You get yourself a $200 airline incidental credit. You get yourself a $240 digital entertainment credit. You get yourself a $200 hotel credit. You get yourself a $200 Uber credit. You get yourself $100 towards Saks Fifth Avenue. You get a free Walmart Plus credit. You get Marriott Gold status, Hilton Gold status. You also end up getting yourself Priority Pass and then access to the Centurion Lounge. American Express claims that the different perks and benefits that are connected with the Platinum Card can give you over $1,500 in value. Now, even though you can end up getting yourself a ton of value from all these different cards' credits, most people aren't going to value these credits at the full amount. An example of this will end up being something like the Green Card's Clear Credit. Yes, this ends up being $189, but I end up seeing in many occasions where you can actually end up getting clear for a lot cheaper than that, closer to about $100. And also a credit that I didn't even name with the Platinum Card, which is the $300 Equinox credit, because most people, including myself, value this credit at $0 because we have absolutely no use for this credit. Now, even though all the credits I may not value at the full amount, I still think that there is a lot of value to them. If I was actually to rank these three different cards when it comes to the actual credits value you're going to be getting, I would say that for myself, I get the most value from my American Express Platinum Card. However, I do think that for the majority of people, the American Express Gold Card is going to be the card that actually end up being the easiest to help offset the annual fee, because using Uber and then also using the dining credit that's connected with this card is going to give you $240 in value that I think is pretty easy for a lot of people to end up using. Whereas with the American Express Platinum Card, there's just so many different credits you actually have to keep up with that I could easily see people not using the airline credit, not using the hotel credit, not signing up for Walmart Plus. So yes, you may have the potential to get yourself over $1,500 in value, but it's very rare that most people are going to be getting anywhere near that amount. And then for the Green Card, if you really like Clear, then I definitely think it ended up making sense for you. I just don't value those two credits that high. I may value those credits somewhere around like $100. I know some people may say, well, the Lounge Buddy credit itself is $100, but I just don't see the Lounge Buddy as being super valuable as compared to looking at something like Priority Pass or the Centurion Lounge access. Next, I want to look at how these cards end up actually working together. So if you happen to have the American Express Green Card with the Gold Card, or happen to have the Gold Card with the Platinum Card, will these cards coming together give you a better dynamic and help justify these high annual fees? So when you look at the American Express Platinum Card with the American Express Gold Card, I think that these two cards work together excellently. Yes, there is some crossover when it comes to booking flights directly with the airlines, getting 3x back with the American Express Gold Card and then 5x back with the American Express Platinum Card. But what I do is I just use my American Express Gold Card for all of my dining purchases. I end up using my American Express Platinum Card for my flight purchases. This allows me to get all the different perks that are connected with the American Express Platinum Card, but get all the earnings that end up coming with the American Express Gold Card. So how do the American Express Gold Card and Green Card work together? Well, I do think that there is a lot of overlap with these cards. You're going to have the overlap when it comes to flights. You're gonna have the overlap when it comes to dining. You could maybe have these two cards together and somewhat make up like a poor man's Platinum Card, where it's gonna have a lower annual fee having these two cards as compared to the Platinum. You are gonna be able to get yourself lounge access, limited lounge access with the Lounge Buddy credit, and then also you're gonna have a clear credit with this card, but at a $400 annual fee having these two cards together, I don't know how many people actually want this combination. I could definitely see it work for some people, but I'm curious how many people actually have the green card and the gold card, consistently use both of these cards and end up getting themselves positive value. And when it comes to having the American Express green card with the American Express Platinum card, I think that there ends up just being too much overlap for it to make sense to have both of these cards. The first thing is going to end up being that clear credit. You end up getting yourself $189 clear credit with the American Express green card, which is definitely going to bring down the annual fee, but you also end up getting it with the American Express Platinum card. So unless you're looking to gift clear to somebody, it's just not going to make sense to have both of these credits because you can't use both of them for yourself. Also, you end up getting yourself a $100 Lounge Buddy credit, but if you end up looking at the American Express Platinum card that gives you access to Priority Pass and the Centurion Lounge, it just doesn't make any sense to even have that credit. Now, some people might say that this is the best travel setup because you're gonna end up getting yourself 5x back on flights, then 3x back on your other travel purchases. But I just think that there's a very limited amount of people who are gonna get themselves positive value having both of these cards in their wallet. So now that I went over having different duos of these cards, does it make sense to have all three of these cards like I currently do? Now, I've currently had all three of these cards for only like 5 hours, so I don't quite know exactly how much value I'm gonna end up getting adding the green card to my wallet. I do end up using Ubers and taxis quite a bit when I actually end up traveling. I would typically use my Chase Sapphire Preferred that ends up giving me 2x back, but I'm not gonna need that for the next year since I'm getting a higher multiplier with the American Express green card. But even though I do frequently use public transportations, taxis, and rideshare services when traveling, I don't think it's gonna be enough to justify paying $150 additional dollars each year with this card. Having the American Express Platinum card is just going to offset a lot of what the good things that the green card actually does. I don't actually think that the green card is a bad card. I do think that for many people, it could be a great stepping stone into the American Express membership rewards earning credit cards. And the reason for this is because it has the lowest annual fee. You end up getting yourself a couple of credits that you can take advantage of to help offset that annual fee. And then you can also end up earning yourself membership reward points with the green card. Now, while American Express are my most used cards, it does hurt me to give them $1,000+ in annual fees. The good thing is that I am getting myself positive value with all of these cards because I have made sure that my American Express Platinum card, I'm getting myself more than the annual fee when it comes to the value from that card. I take full advantage of my gold card credits when it comes to the dining credit and also the Uber credit. And then when it comes to my new green card, this card is going to give me 60,000 membership reward points from that sign-up bonus. Plus also you actually end up getting yourself 20% back on travel purchases up to the first $1,000 in the first 6 months of having this card, which ends up being $200 back, which is going to offset the annual fee for the first year. So I'm at least going to keep the American Express green card in my wallet for an entire year, and then I'm gonna have to calculate whether or not it still makes sense for me to keep for the following year after that. But that is my breakdown of having all three of American Express's main charge cards. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I want to hear in the comment section down below which American Express charge card do you have, and which combination of American Express charge cards you think is the best combination to have. And if you happen to really like this video, then please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.